Hello?
Well, yes, hello there, my most intellectual friend. Though I do use the term friend quite loosely.
Gee, Bill. Thanks. What's up?
Well, there are multiple things that are up. The sky, for one, the ceiling, for another. But then there's also, of course, my ever-increasing popularity on the social networking site you most foolishly refer to as YouTube.
Okay then. What'd you call me for?
Yes, the purpose behind my call, good man, is to inform you that I will no longer be able to appear on your quaint little podcast that you refer to as the Geeky Gentleman.
Why not?
As I'm sure you know, dear chum, I have recently completed my masterpiece film about the clash between man's most animalistic tendencies and his desire for more high-minded things.
Are you talking about the werewolf movie you made last year?
Well, I'm sure that's how a simpleton such as yourself might choose to view it. But in any case, an intellectually and culturally advanced Renaissance man such as myself can no longer afford to associate myself with an intellectual ingrate such as you, and thus can no longer grace your pitiful little podcast with my prodigious presence.
Alright. Thanks for the call.
Why, you're most welcome, my good man. Good day to you. Ah, yes. Now back to this most riveting intellectual tale.
Shit. What am I gonna do now?
Hey you! Well, dumb moron, do you see anyone else? Do you need someone to be in YouTube discussion videos? Do you need a YouTuber with strong argumentation skills and ridiculous amounts of free time?
Yeah.
Well then look no further than Steve Baxi. Steve Baxi hails from a far-off land at the foothills of the Himalayas and has been on YouTube for years. That's right, not only are you guaranteed serious YouTube street cred, you'll never have to worry about meeting your diversity quotas ever again.
Wow!
Steve Baxi studied philosophy, economics, and politics, but instead of using that knowledge to change the world, he applies what he's learned to comic books and Hollywood action films.
Oh man, that's perfect for my show.
Not only that, but when Steve Baxi isn't YouTubing, he's rewatching movies or TV shows like The Winter Soldier, The Avengers, Batman, and many more.
This all sounds great, but I'm a little skeptical.
Don't believe me? Just listen to these testimonials from YouTubers who are satisfied with their use of Steve Baxi.
I've been using Steve Baxi on my YouTube channel now for over a year, and I have to say, I am nothing short of satisfied. Steve says all the mean things about TV shows and movies that everybody else seems to like that I would love to say, but now I don't have to. And Steve says things that sound really smart at the time, but nobody quite understands, and that makes my channel seem a whole lot smarter than it really is. In fact, at this point, people come to Superhero Rewind just because, comparatively, it seems down to earth. And now, nobody accuses me of overanalyzing things because Steve reads into even the most obscure things 200 times more than I ever did.
Although I haven't had Steve on my channel very much, I think he's added coherency for the first time in years.
Since I started using Steve Baxi, my YouTube channel's become twice as inaccessible to people who haven't studied philosophy. I love Steve Baxi so much, I even help sell him to other YouTubers.
That's right, if you call in the next 5 minutes, not only will you get Steve Baxi as your personal YouTube attraction, but we'll rip him away from his loved ones and deliver him straight to your doorstep. Steve Baxi cooks, he cleans, he does your taxes, and even stores conveniently under your bed. And that's not all. There are added benefits of owning your very own Steve Baxi. Steve can help you lose weight, learn a second language, cure all your medical ailments, and even repair broken relationships. So what are you waiting for? Call now. Warning, Steve Baxi's been known to cause IEB, weight gain, weight loss, depression and anxiety, restless leg syndrome, loss of short-term memory, loss of long-term memory, inability to remember who you are entirely, difficulty sleeping, drowsiness, thoughts of suicide, erectile dysfunction, blood clots, breathing problems, hives, hallucinations, and dizziness. Use of Steve Baxi is contraindicated if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Call the number below now and order your Steve Baxi.
Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Ladies and gentlemen, fuck the universe. Fuck the fucking universe. Fuck it all. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck the goddamn universe. I just want you to know, universe, I severely fucking hate you. You're a fucking jackass. You're a horrible person, even though you're every person, but that makes you Hitler too. You're worse than Hitler, universe, because you're Hitler and Genghis Khan and Mussolini and Mao and Stalin and all those fuckers wrapped into one, and then you're the fucked up shit that's going on in Milan's head too, so fuck you, universe. Ladies and gentlemen, due to extreme technical difficulties of hair-pulling out rage-level anger, like I'm pretty sure I could get a red ring of rage right now, easy, and just completely destroy the rest of the Red Lantern Corps and make them feel bad, and make Hulk look like a well-adjusted individual at this moment, because technical difficulties are such a bitch that we've been trying to record this episode of Geeky Gentlemen for like 3-4 weeks straight now, and just every fucking time something fucks up, goes completely goddamn sideways, and I am just pissed. And if you can't tell by the sound of my voice how goddamn pissed I am, I implore you, ask Milan how he feels. Having to deal with me in this particular mood.
I feel rather great, actually. I had some tea and shit. I had some crumpets. The day is rather nice. It's sunny outside. The birds are singing.
Fuck you. Oh my god.
But
no, so like, we wanted to do this episode, all three of us, and we had that opening bit, and I really wanted, since this is Steve's 1 year on the show, and he didn't know that, I really wanted Steve to be in the episode, but that didn't work out. Actually, hold on just one sec.
It's rather amazing seeing the lengths Ian would go to get this shit done. I mean, he has to sleep on the couch today, and, well, tonight, technically, and so, you see, Ian may seem like an incredibly angry, bitter philosopher motherfucker, but deep down he's really just this ridiculous pussycat. He's just so sweet.
Yeah, sure.
I know, he's still a cunt though, but a delightful cunt. The kind of cunt that gives you smiles.
Mm-hmm. Well, between Steve's bizarre internet issues, where he seems to be able to perfectly, with ease, IM me back and forth at the moment, or was previously, but trying to call him on Skype didn't work, even though, like, on Tuesday he and I had, like, a hour-long conversation, but guess what? Milan's fucking undependable ass just didn't show up for that. So it was like, we've been bouncing back and forth for the last, like, 2-3 weeks now, trying to get this episode in the bag. And I feel fucking terrible, because I just, I like to be consistent for you guys, so. Anyway, I'm sorry, the bitching is over. I needed to get it out of my system. Fuck the universe. Obviously, the universe does not feel comfortable with Geeky Gentlemen as a whole discussing Jack Kirby and his New Gods Omnibus Volume 1, or Fourth World Omnibus Volume 1.
Yep. This is my topic.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah, this is my topic, too. I mean, I'm like, it always goes so smoothly on your topics, but, like, the universe is like, you know what?
Fuck Milan.
Yeah, fuck Milan, and fuck anyone associated with him. Just, I want the sense of embittered hatred towards this particular moment to fester in the minds of his friends. Just so we can fuck him over in the future. That the universe conspires against me. That's why I'm gonna take it over one of these days, just to show it who's boss.
Yeah, you do that.
I will.
Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, we're discussing Jack Kirby's Fourth World Omnibus Volume 1, and this will be about the third time we've tried to do this video, but there are a lot of fresh feelings at the moment, so I'm sure I can funnel those somewhere. So if you ever just wanted to hear me passive-aggressively yell at Milan for things, here you go.
Yay! This is like an old classic, like, Geeky Gentleman, where you're just like, Milan, like, let's point out all your flaws. And I'm like, but in a really fun way. So, like, I can't wait. Like, I'm really, really Like, this is gonna be fun. This is like the good old days where it's just you and me sitting, just passively, aggressively, just bitching at each other. Well, I'm just sitting there quietly and taking it like a bitch, and you're just dishing it out.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be fun.
Anyway, so Fourth World Omnibus Volume 1 is, like, it's one of those weird things where I have very mixed feelings on this, because overall, I think I enjoy it. But, man, some of it is just a bear to get through. And what I mean by that is, like, I really, really like some of the stuff with, or all the stuff with just the new gods themselves, like the characters that Kirby creates, the new gods, I really enjoy. But as soon as humans show up on Earth people, I guess, show up on the pages, I just start losing interest so goddamn quick. And it's just painful to get through for me. Like the 2 issues of New Gods that had the people showing up in them quite a bit, that's in this volume, I was falling asleep during, which I've never had with a comic book before. The Jimmy Olsen and the Newsboy Legion stuff, God, it was just so hard for me to get through. I really struggled to read that stuff.
Really? I mean, for me, I found it quite funny. I mean, for me, why I love the New Gods so much, and conceptually, storytelling-wise, is that there's always this view from the streets as seen up high. You know, there's kind of a, you get the basic kind of Jimmy Olsen, there's a fucking biker gang made up of hippies that live in this abandoned treehouse city.
Yeah, I mean, if to be fair, if Sons of Anarchy had been about that, I probably would have watched it.
I know. I mean, they have giant-ass cars. They have the Newsboy Legion. They have Jimmy Olsen being just a ridiculous badass. Just like, fuck it, I'm going to join a fucking bikie gang because I beat the shit out of their boss. And it's like...
See, Jimmy Olsen is one of those books where I've always known about it, and I think I've read a couple issues, but I'm like, yeah, that's from a special time in comics that I do admire to one degree or another, but I don't think I really need to experience.
I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Jimmy Olsen getting his own book seemed entirely to just be, we have Superman save Lois Lane a lot, and that can be kind of boring, so let's have him save Jimmy Olsen, too.
I don't know, it's surprising. You seem to like Mad Men quite a bit, and this has that kind of wacky, inventive style. Madman, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I do have, I do admire Silver Age comics and stuff, and when it's, especially in the 90s, when everything was just dark and hateful, that was very refreshing, but just Jack Kirby's writing does not go well when he's trying to do just average people, I guess. Like, when he's really far out there and doing crazy stuff, it's great. Like, I love the stuff with the New Gods, because it reads like ancient myth, but with, sci-fi technology added in.
I know.
And that's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Metron, who's my favorite New Gods character, I guess other than Darkseid, Metron's first scene in the thing, they give him all these, I think they're called monikers, a title that you also go by.
Like Milan the Insane.
Yeah, or Ian the Flosser.
Yeah, exactly.
When I have a volume of the classical sources for ancient myth, Homer and Hesiod and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, it wouldn't just go, there is Zeus, or I am Zeus and I am here. It'd be like, I am Lord Zeus, king of the Olympians, the Thunderer. They'd come in and they'd announce themselves like that.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's exactly what they do with Metron. Metron, the cold one, the observer, and they do that with Orion. Orion, who wields the Astro Force.
Yeah, the
Zeus,
dog of
the
war.
Argus bear.
Yeah, Orion, the dog of war. And it's just this kind of stuff I really dig with that. And I guess the human parts didn't bother me as much because, I don't know, I come from an, Eastern European culture, and comics are just an odd thing to me as a concept themselves. And I just love seeing it
in Russia, we do not have enjoyable comic strips.
We do not have...
Comic strips are in black and white, and they tell you to worship the state.
We don't even have comic books. If we had that, then at least that would be interesting, you know? It's kind of crazy, but you know, like, it's just kind of odd when you see the fucking Newsboy Legion, and it's just kind of wacky. I mean, there's this one part with Superman that I really quite enjoyed. He basically, as Clark Kent, he had just interviewed this boxer, and the subject of Superman gets brought up, and the guy just freaks out and is like, fucking Superman, I mean, what's the point? I can fucking be the best athlete on the planet, but this guy can bench press a fucking mountain. And it's just like, and he's like, yeah, it's not like us, you and me, Clark, you know, it's just fucking gods. And Superman just feels kind of sad, like, oh, is that what people really think about Superman? Like, they just resent him for being so fucking perfect? And it's not like that, it's kind of, like, legitimately sweet. And I just really like the layout. It's just very, like, Bronze Age kind of Jack Kirby stuff, and the layout is so, it looks like the Rosetta Stone. Like, some of these old Jack Kirby comics, the layout, the storytelling is so precise and classic, even because it's from that time period. But this whole thing with Superman wanting to go to Supertown, well, to New Genesis, technically, and, like, he's a god among men, but he wants to see how it is to be normal among the gods. And then at the end, he's just like, the Forever People let him through, like, here you go, Darkseid's on planet Earth, and he's gonna fuck everything up, but if you want to go to fucking New Genesis, go right ahead. And he goes, okay, I go.
Like, they act like he couldn't come back.
Yeah, but then he goes through the boom tube, and then he just, like, reconsiders, like, nah. And you just see this one little panel of Superman just kind of kneeling down, and just kind of like, perhaps someday I'll try again. But the time is not now. Not yet. And then we get that awesome fucking New Gods first issue, that really, the one I'm going to turn into a fucking motion comic.
Oh my god, that fucking, the epilogue. I wasn't sure if the scans I downloaded were in, like, the right order or something, so that did confuse me for a minute, but that epilogue is just amazing. It is an epic, and that is the great stuff. I think if I'd have to, rate on a hierarchy my enjoyment of these books, that make up the Omnibus, those books being Jimmy Olsen, Mr. Miracle, Forever People, and New Gods, I think I'd go Jimmy Olsen right at the bottom, Forever People just above that, then Mr. Miracle, then New Gods. New Gods stuff is just fucking awesome. And to be fair, I think Mr. Miracle and New Gods kind of trade places depending on the issue. But, like, yeah, the New Gods stuff is just awesome, and I'm not saying that in, like, the, you know, dude, that's awesome kind of thing. I mean the literal awe-inspiring, holy fuck, that is cool kind of way.
Yeah, like old school myth. Like, it's this kind of not, like, you know, shallow type of awesome, but, like, epic in the actual meaning of the term. Like, fucking biblical. Grant Morrison did the introduction to this trade, and he said, this infusion, it's like Hebraic myth mixed with Viking mythology. It's like, you don't listen to, people say, oh, Kirby's human dialogue is a bit flat, I mean, or a bit stereotypical. I mean, like, yeah, but listen to his fucking God speak. I mean, it's like, It's like heavy fucking metal. There's a reason why people fucking make songs about Jack Kirby. Motherfucker was metal before metal was a thing. Mm-hmm. And like, that's the thing, I really want to see, like, if I ever do become a director, or if, I really want to see a New Gods movie, but if you gotta do a New Gods movie, you gotta do it broad. You gotta make it an epic in every sense of the word.
Dude, I swear to God, if they ever do a New Gods movie, fucking Kubrick directs. Like, just resurrect the man from the grave and have Stanley Kubrick direct the bitch. No one else could be as weird as that movie would demand.
Yeah, because, like, some of this shit is just fucking huge, you know? It's just some things are just so huge, and, like, fucking Orion fights a pack of giant dogs.
Mm-hmm. I was actually, like, reading, I was doing a bit of tweeting as I was reading this, and, something did occur to me, and I did that whole Metron chair and stuff, the 3D print of the chair. I'll put a link down in the description for those that are interested. I would really have liked to see Jack Kirby get to play around with 3D modeling software, because especially, it's most apparent in the New Gods, but it's all over the place. even his humans and stuff, they have all these geometric shapes and patterns on them, right?
Yeah, it's like
That dude really likes playing with volumetric shapes, which is what 3D is all about. Is just taking geometry and making it work. And so I would love to have seen him be able to play around with some 3D software.
Yeah.
Because I think he would have really dug it.
And, like, the whole Jack Kirby style is like Grant Morrison talks about this in his book Super Gods. Like his engines, like everything in that Jack Kirby comic looks like it's been designed by Jack Kirby. The engines look like what engines would dream of. Like he's like machines. They look like what engines dream of being. You know, it's like all these crazy Aztec fucking lines. I mean, and it's so fucking elegant, but at the same time so fucking... It's like a fist to your face. I've never seen something so big and meaty and brawny and fucking tough and hard-nosed, but at the same time kind of weirdly elegant in its design and its swoop, and it's just... Like, I'm a huge art guy. And just like this stuff right here, I mean... This is just utterly magnificent. And another thing with I really like the genetic engineering stuff. When you first see Simeon and the yellow-faced dude, I forget his name. No.
Well, let's stick on the art. Are you talking about the art, or are you talking about like story element?
Well, I'm talking about the art, but essentially it's kind of a mix of the two. And you see, just like I think this is the very first time where genetic engineering and Cadmus and all that stuff was first introduced, because you just see like a bunch of fucking like some of this art, some of this Jack Kirby art. You see concepts done in that Jack Kirby style, some of these modern concepts like genetic engineering and whatever, and this kind of weird, like all this weird stuff is done through his kind of blocky style. And it's so strange. The man was so ahead of his time, like structurally speaking, and he could just... It's just truly fucking magnificent, the stuff that he was able to accomplish. And it's one of those things, you know. Like
no,
I don't know. I'm just fucked up. But it's just
no. I think that his art is just amazing, and it's one of the only things that gets me through some of the Jimmy Olsen issues. I will, I guess, throw a bit of a criticism here and say that it's not nearly like... some of the issues are very bland in comparison to some of the other stuff. Like, you know, when you got, like, the motorcycle race and stuff, that's all cool. And then once you get, like, back out of the cave or what the project or whatever, it gets pretty good again, but... A lot of that stuff, it's just a bunch of people standing around in a room until you get, you know, Jimmy the Jolly Green Giant coming in.
God, that's awesome. Like when you just see, oh, for fuck's sake, 1 second.
Nah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, just leave your mic on. Awesome. Hold on. Oh God, I got a crank in my back.
I don't know. It's just really fucking great. Like, it's Jack Kirby. What more can you fucking say? It's like a fucking...
Well, I love his art, but I think at times it's, you know, he wrote and drew every single thing in this book, and, like, someone else did the inking, and... Did he do the coloring too? No, he did the editing. So, like, I think he might have overwhelmed himself a little bit with this book. Because he's all over the place in this. He's doing everything, pulling like triple duty at that point. So it's understandable why I think some of it suffers at other points, but honestly, Juan, do you think it'd be fair to say that New Gods or that Fourth World is Jack Kirby's his masterpiece?
I guess so. Like with Jack Kirby, everything he fucking does is kind of a masterpiece in itself. But
yeah, but I mean, this is his big thing.
This is his baby, most definitely. He wanted to do this, and it's so fucking tragic that he got cut short, because it's like most of the concepts, most of this big event storytelling is used from this. Like it's like this Rosetta Stone of comic book events. Event storytelling.
You ever notice how Milan just kind of picks up a term and then hopes he's using it right?
Yeah, I'm stupid, guys. Like, I have no college education. I just kind of
It doesn't. You don't have to have a college education to be smart enough to know what words you're using.
Fuck that. I don't.
How about this? It's like the blueprint for event comics, and even though event comics have spiraled out of control in the modern day, yeah, this is like the prototype or the blueprint for events to come, because you got that villains plot seeded through, and you've got all these other seemingly unrelated things connecting back to this main book that's being introduced. So yeah, it is really the prototype for those, or the blueprint.
Yeah, and just some of the stuff, like some of the moments in this whole volume, like the whole thing with Orion saying, like, this face is a mask, the mother box hides my true visage, it rearranges the atoms in my face to make me look like I belong in New Genesis, and he just holds, there's like 3 panels, he holds the fucking mother box over his face, you hear like a ping ping ping, and then his face turns into a more, for all those who don't know, Orion is the dog's fucking spawn of Darkseid, because originally, just a little fucking background for all those who don't know. There was a great war in heaven, blah-de-blah-de-blah. There were, so Highfather and Darkseid decided on a treaty, and they, exchanged sons. Orion, the son of Darkseid, went to live on New Genesis, and Mr. Miracle, well, he went to live on fucking
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Actually, you read the New 52 Wonder Woman book. You remember those couple issues where they go to New Genesis?
Yeah.
I don't really care for the way that Jack Kirby ended up drawing Orion once he didn't have, like, the beauty face that Mother Box gave him.
Uh-huh.
But in the Wonder Woman book, there's this scene where Orion's getting angry at himself, so he goes down to, the ground of New Genesis and just starts punching the old buildings. And, like, Wonder Woman goes down to, like, kind of comfort him for a sec, and his helmet's fallen off. And, like, I love what the artist did. I thought it was so clever. And to be fair, I don't know if anyone's done this before, but they had Orion's true face showing at that point, and it was like a red version of Darkseid's face, and I thought that was genius. So I think I like that approach a little more than what Kirby did, but yeah, I still like the idea that he has to hide his true face in this world of, angels.
Yeah. It's fucking, like, this is the thing, like, people say, oh, there's only Batman and Superman. I mean, like, this is an entire fucking cosmos. I mean, if you want to make Grant Morrison always talks about, Grant Morrison is a huge fucking geek. He's like, I want to see a fucking OMAC movie.
Oh my god.
Like,
I don't even know how that worked.
Yeah, Grant Morrison's like, we should fucking have an OMAC movie immediately. And it's so weird seeing this guy who you respect so much just freak out about, like, this kind of, like, OMAC is a badass motherfucker. I love that book. I fucking bought it. It's just wacky as all fuck. Like, it's just like, the comic books in general are just so fucking wacky, and when people try to take that away and try to make them fit in the real world, I'm like, no, try to make the real world fit around the comic book wackiness. That's how you make it work.
Yeah, I don't particularly agree, but that's okay. I think it should actually become that as opposed to starting that way.
Yeah, I suppose so.
That more interesting.
You have to start from the ground up, and then you have to look up and see the thing,
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Superman, the classic Superman thing is look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Superman. It's always, I think that's a pretty good way to look at it, because at first it's something that's completely natural, then it's a technological marvel, and then it's Superman. It's like this completely otherworldly thing. So I always felt like that's a pretty good way to look at comic books. At first it's a purely natural phenomenon, then you get a technological based thing that tries to match, or tries to exceed that the natural phenomenon, and then you get the supernatural. Then it gets, crazy and out of control. Anyway, no, so the Jack Kirby, his art is fantastic, but I do think, the other thing that occurred to me is, there's some really, I don't know if it's maybe just my modern sensibility or if this was wonky at the time, too. Even though you love Jack Kirby's art, Milan, you gotta admit, Darkseid looks fucking weird with pupils, right?
He does, I know. You know what's fucking weird? I think that, like, you see the original pencils, and, like, it looks 3D. Like,
Weird.
It's so weird. Literally, dude, if you look at Jack Kirby's original pencils, it looks fucking amazing. The inker really fucked up on, like, the art's still amazing, it's Jack Kirby, but the inker really loses some perspective, because if you look at that same image of Darkseid in pencil form, he doesn't have pupils. The fucking inker put the pupils in.
Okay, that is, I suppose it's not his fault, but yeah. I would love to see some Jack Kirby stuff recolored and inked in modern times, with modern techniques, I mean.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see that, dude. That would fucking
because I imagine it would just be perfect for that. Especially since we do have a fair amount of his pencil stuff, especially for this.
Oh, definitely. And one little thing, just completely out of nowhere. The source wall. It doesn't... I'm not, like... I've been reading Green Lantern. I've been checking out a few issues of the modern Green Lantern, and they take fucking Black Hand to the source wall. And you know what happens? He awakens all the fucking dead dudes, like all the giants trapped in it, and he just goes, rise, and he just fucks everyone up.
Nice. No, but I like that that Kirby put so much effort into this, but I do think that the modern age has I don't know if this is a critique or kind of a positive for Kirby. I think that everything he did in this was really fun and really interesting, but still problematic. And I think, you know, by and large, there's obviously been stumbles and trips along the way. Darkseid issue of Justice League 23.2 or whatever.
What do you mean?
The stupid retconning of Darkseid's origin and shit.
Yeah.
There's obviously been trips and stumbles along the way, but I gotta say, I think that the modern take on Darkseid and all the new gods, the modern ways to do them has ended up being a lot better than where Jack Kirby started it off at.
Like with the Wonder Woman stuff, you mean?
Not just Wonder Woman, but like, you know, you look at new gods in, say, Final Crisis or whatever, and just the visuals alone, I do think look better than what Kirby laid down. He did create the foundation.
I definitely agree. They've really kind of touched him up a bit. But have you been reading the God Hand thing that's going on in the Green Lantern books?
No, I'll probably pick up a trade of that.
Fucking Alex has been talking about it. He's like, oh, it looks good. It looks so beautiful. Oh my god. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll pick up a trade of that because I am interested. I just I'm kind of behind on comics. Not behind, I just didn't pick that up, and now I really don't know what the fuck's going on with Convergence. I am so out of the goddamn loop.
Convergence, it's just... like, it's so weird, DC and Marvel both have this similar thing going on. Like, it's like...
yeah, they're rebooting at the same time, I know.
It's
anyway,
weird.
let's stick to this. So no, like, I do like Kirby's art, but I do think it's been surpassed over time. And to be fair, I think you need someone to lay a good foundation in order to.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying that Jack Kirby's the end be all of comic book art. No, he's just as a person who appreciates the medium. Like, you can't deny his fucking touchstone in the art medium. Like, he is the thing. Like, he's the big dude. He's got, like...
well, I mean, yeah, his name's Jack King Kirby.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
I keep fucking saying that. I'm fucking retarded. What's wrong with me, Ian?
I don't know. Well, like, I remember I was talking to Steve at one point, and I made the point where, like, I'm not a big fan of Jack Kirby's art, because, like, I always heard people say, oh, he's, like, the greatest artist in comics. I'm like, it just kind of looks okay. Like, I'm not saying he didn't put effort into it or anything. It's just, like, you know, he was probably rushed. He had to get a lot more out at the time, so it's just alright. By modern standards, it's probably really good for the time. He goes, well, yeah, it was amazing for the time, and it propelled the entire industry forward, and that's what makes it good. I'm like, oh, that's what people mean. Okay, yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like, if you judge it purely by modern standards, I hate to say it, but it doesn't really hold up that well.
Oh, most definitely. So, you know what's funny?
What?
Darkseid is surprisingly progressive.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
I know. It's like he's fucking has all these fucking most powerful, most dangerous warriors are ladies. He's got a kind of a transgender on his team as like his second in command. Like, is Granny Goodness a dude in a dress? I don't know.
I've always wondered about that, because it always seemed like that, or maybe they're just trying to be like really not overplaying sexuality. How funny would it be if like if the new universe, the first time we see Granny, they do what they did with like Amanda Waller last time in Suicide Squad, where they just made her like skinny and hot, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Like, what if they just made Granny Goodness like skinny and hot, but like still an old woman's face?
Oh, Jesus Christ, that would make it even kind of worse. Just like that is some great post-op surgery. Like, God damn it. Yeah.
Still got like the creepy ass voice.
Yeah, fucking like, but damn, you gotta admit that stuff would just like, that is some good surgery, you know.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah.
No, I do agree though. Like, it's kind of funny when you think about how progressive Darkseid is. He's kind of an all-inclusive tyrant, you know?
Yeah, he's like, hey, you know, Darkseid is, but you know, I got ladies and shit. Like, they'll hurt you as badly as I will, but. You know, at least, like, in the Batman, Superman, Supergirl
Apocalypse movie?
Yeah,
yep.
Like, it was obviously a dude in a dress. Like not even, like, it didn't even, like, it's a dude in a dress. They even got a dude to voice it. And I'm like, you got a drag queen as the torturer of children on this fucking death camp planet. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
speaking of Granny Goodness, I like every time we talk New Gods, or every time Mr. Miracle comes up, I just have to go back and watch that episode of Justice League that he's in. And every time I see it, I tear up a little bit when Scott Free escapes from Apocalypse, because, like, I just love Granny's speech where he's like, "You think you're special, Scott, that you're somehow better than everyone else, that you're different. Well, you're not. Matter of fact, you're slower than all the other children. They learned long ago that there is no hope, and you just figured it out." And then he's like, "There's always hope," and he fucking gets out of the trailer like, "Oh, it's the greatest thing ever."
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Miracle in this. Oh my god, I love the Mr. Miracle issues. That's the kind of Silver Age stuff that I like, where it's kind of crazy and kind of silly, but there's also kind of like a badass edge to it. Like, that's the thing, is there's some badassness with the motorcycle gangs and stuff with the Jimmy Olsen thing, but it got like too shark jumpy, where I could not legitimately imagine Jimmy Olsen, like, you know, joining a motorcycle gang. But, you know, the idea of an escape artist in the top floor of a building having to get out of the building when everyone everyone on every single floor is like super paranoid and thinks he's trying to kill him, so they want to kill Mr. Miracle first. That's genius, and that's got a really cool edge to it. And it's also such a weird concept that you couldn't get away with it anywhere else. That's just really cool.
I mean, the thing that I love most about comics is just they take the, like, nothing is gauche in comic books. I keep saying this.
We talked about that.
But it's true. I mean, like, you just have these ridiculous fucking concepts, and they're just badass when you come to think about them. Like, Mr. Miracle is a fucking badass, and his wife, Big Bertha, is just, like, even then it's like, hey, more progressive shit. Like, Big Bertha is just like this, Big Bertha. She's just this huge fucking bitch, and Mr. Miracle's like this pretty little walk boy. I'm like, it's like...
I have a question. So, Scott Free, and if I'm remembering correctly, wasn't Mr. Miracle Shorman Norm or something? What the fuck? How do you say his name? Who's the Mr. Miracle in Seven Soldiers?
Godness. I don't know. It's kind of the whole reincarnation thing, you know? The whole Grant Morrison thing.
Okay, no, I could have sworn they called him a different name in Seven Soldiers, and, you know, it was a black dude.
Yeah, because, like, at that point, they'd killed off the New Gods, and so, like, Grant Morrison's like, no, fuck that. We're gonna have them reincarnate.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they killed off the new gods.
Oh yeah, they basically give. I hate to use this fucking term, but they kind of like no, they didn't fucking fridge her. They didn't fridge Big Bertha, because this is what people don't understand about the whole fridging lady in the refrigerator fucking trope. Basically, what Gail Simone meant was basically everyone gets this fucking wrong, and it's so annoying. Basically, this character that got fridged in this one Green Lantern issue, she got introduced in the one issue, and she got literally killed in the second. Like, she had no character development. She was just like, oh, it's just a girlfriend that needs to die to progress this hero's fucking thing. But, like, when a character, you get to know a character, like a female character, and, like, it's not like just like a throwaway damsel in distress. It's just like, this, you get to know this character, and when she dies, that's not called fridging. That's called fucking drama. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Just because a lady dies in something doesn't mean she got fridged. All right?
Well, no. Like, not to get too far off, but I find this argument so weird because I'm like, dude, that's like every comic book character, like, no, whether man or woman, that has like so many characters.
Exactly.
Like, I can't even, I think I could name more male characters that they get killed without much development compared to female characters.
Well, yeah.
I mean, either it's equal, as in both parents, or it's more on the man. Like, Martin Jordan, Thomas Wayne, Jor-El.
I mean, it's one of those things that's just like, oh, he has a penis, his death doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those funny things, but yeah, I have noticed that as well. Not that I'm saying, it's okay to do that. No, actually, here's an idea. Develop the characters that you're going to kill so that we care about them. That only kind of works in, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Game of Thrones is one of those things that's just like, people have really gotten angry at Game of Thrones because it's just like, there's this thing called audience...
Consequences?
No, not consequences, but if you get too dark, if you just... things get so fucking awful after a time, the audience just gets kind of... like, the whole novelty of the thing runs dry, That's the thing with Game of Thrones. You can only see a man get his cock chopped off and fed to him so many times before it gets bland.
Is the cock going to get bland, or is the watching it going to get bland?
Well, a little bit of both, technically.
You're mixing your metaphors.
I know, but still, it's like, fuck, dude, like, that's the thing what happened in the 90s. It was just, everything was so fucking grimdark that people went like, okay, fuck, what the fuck, get a fucking girlfriend, mate. And that's the thing that, like, people, this is a little aside to the whole Mad Max Fury Road thing, but I know you haven't seen it, but, look.
I just don't give a fuck.
I know, but basically, this is just for all those people, it's still kind of relevant, but people say, oh, like, the male, the guy who, essentially that whole thing of, like, the whole point of that film was that hey, that was Mark Miller saying to all the skinhead boys, hey, get a fucking girlfriend, mate. That's all it was.
Okay. Let's get back to Omnibus. No, I love Mr. Miracle in this. He is a lot of fun to watch, and just all the escape things and how clever. Like, Jack Kirby would have been a good magician, or escape artist, because, like, just some of the stuff he came up with is just so over the top that it would be so much fun to watch.
I know, right?
Like, it would have been so easy for him to just have Mr. Miracle, straight jacket and hanging upside down or whatever. But no, he takes escape artist comic books to, like, a whole new level. And, like, it's interesting because it kind of builds into what you were talking about with Superman and the Boxer earlier. In a world of comic books, why would anyone care to see someone, get out of a straitjacket, right? Like, in a world where there's superheroes, like, well, we fucking saw, Batman jump out of a vault that was falling out of a skyscraper. There'd be shit like that going on constantly. Why would anyone pay to see an escape artist?
Well,
so
with
Mr.
Batman
Miracle
and shit. Well, I guess with the whole Mr. Miracle
well, hold
thing.
on, let me make my point. So, like, Mr. Miracle takes this point where he's like, alright, I'm just gonna set up death traps and get out of them anyway. It's like, I'm gonna be the supervillain and the hero in public. Go ahead, dude. What were you gonna say?
I mean, with the whole Batman thing, like he does that whole superhero like action thing, but for a fee. He's like, hey, you want to see some crazy shit? Sure, but when you're seeing that kind of crazy shit in the real world, quote unquote, there's a high chance of you getting killed. But here, it's all safe and shit.
I'm the only one in danger. Yeah, like I was talking about that Justice League episode earlier, and like the way that opens is so Jack Kirby, because they have him all chained up, and then they put him in kind of like an Iron Dome or Iron Maiden kind of thing, and then they weld that shut, and then drop a big wooden box on him, a big concrete box on him. And then a giant helicopter has a locomotive train just dropped on the motherfucker. And he gets out just fine. And he doesn't explain how it happens.
Yep.
It's just such a... Like, that's fucking awesome. I would so watch that dude.
Yeah.
It's not like fucking what's his name? The magician that's like not even really a magician or escape artist. David Blaine or whatever. It's not like his shit, but I'm going to spend 8 days in a glass box.
I mean, where's the trick of that? If I want to see a weirdo... Yeah.
No. I'm going to spend 8 days in a glass box. Are you going to, like, eat stuff? Yes. So you're just going to be kind of hot the whole time? Yes. That's not a trick. That's just, like... odd performance art, maybe?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, like, it's not really that impressive once you come to think about it.
Like, I'm sure I couldn't do it, but I mean, why would you want to?
I mean, is the box on fire?
No.
Are you...
Is there a shark? No.
That's what you should have. Just have a giant glass box, set it on fire, and just put a shark in there with the guy.
There's an escape artist trick for you.
Yeah, that's fucking beautiful.
No, but that was what was so much fun about watching, reading the Mr. Miracle comics. Is like, I love that last issue where he's in the fucking building and he's got to try to figure out how to get out before all the people kill him, and like, oh my god, that's so much fun.
Yep.
Why would you hide?
And like,
why do you hide shit from me when I can see in plain sight?
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Anyway.
Like, you talking to Ian while looking at porn?
What the fuck? Don't talk about that shit. Don't lie.
I'm not really lying. I'm just...
Mickey, shut the...
I'm just clarifying.
Anyway, no, there's like I fucking love that whole thing. I just wish he hadn't used the little flyer disc things for his feet, because, I don't know, I get why he does it. It's kind of his thing, but I don't know. There's that certain line where it's, okay, it's not really an escape artist thing anymore. It's just a superhero gadget kind of thing. So I don't know, like that's probably the only thing I didn't care for about the Mr. Miracle stuff, is that he was using Mother Box and Apocalypse technology, but at the same time it's still fucking awesome to watch. Anyway, what else, Milan? Or just, argue with your brother about God knows what. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what a cruel and awful world we live in.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Oh, I know what else I wanted to talk about. So I've also been reading Sandman.
Ooh.
And this is a question I had, and I wanted to pose it to you. So one of the really interesting concepts that Jack Kirby introduces is the Black Racer.
Yeah.
And what a neat idea.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's really cool with the skis and stuff. That was fun to watch. And he's Death. And I've been reading Sandman. And Death is in that. And they're clearly different characters. Thoughts? Or not. It's whatever.
You were saying? Excuse me?
I was reading this, and you got the Black Racer, really interesting concept, and I've been reading Sandman, and you have Death.
Yeah.
And they're clearly different characters, so any thoughts? on how we
there's
reconcile those two things.
Funny enough, there's actually this Sandman issue that I'm not sure if you've gotten up to yet, but essentially it's this scene where Death is on a boat with somebody, and she's joined with other Deaths with like.
It's not. No, it's not. That's not Sandman. That's Captain Atom. Because I was looking this up online to see if anyone had thought of an answer for it. That's a Captain Atom issue, and Gaiman came out and said, no, that's not it at all. No, I reject that. Yeah,
really?
And like the thing is, you could make the argument like, well, Gaiman didn't want it to be in continuity, but Gaiman put fucking the Demon and the original Jack Kirby Sandman, as well as the 1930s Sandman, but he put the Demon and the Jack Kirby Sandman into his comic. He clearly has a love for Jack Kirby characters, so there's something here. I'm just like, fuck, how do I make this work? How do I have two things that I love?
Whoa, it was in Captain Atom? What?
Yeah, Captain Atom.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Captain Atom.
Yes.
He's just one of those dudes you never really hear a lot about.
Well, there you go. Yeah, but how do I take these two things that I enjoy, one of which I love, and make them coexist? Which is, I guess, kind of the fun of comic books. And what's more annoying about it is, I read that issue of Action Comics that Death showed up in, and she straight up says, Lex Luthor's looking at her, he goes, well, you don't really look like Death. She goes, what, were you expecting the Scythe, black skis? I'm like, oh, come on, you can't do that. You can't do that and not explain it.
Yeah, I know, but let's just take that thing from Captain Atom as fucking canon. Fuck it, it's a larger concept.
Gaiman
can go suck a dick!
No, Gaiman invented the greatest comic book characters of all time.
True.
And you should feel bad for saying that Gaiman should go suck a dick. Apologize to Death. Apologize to Death right now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Death. That was out of nowhere. I don't know. I just continuity. You know, I just wanted to make sense.
Well, the thing about it is Morrison, who is the biggest continuity. It's all one continuity guy there is. He used the Black Racer in Final Crisis, but in his Justice League run, Sandman shows up. So it's just like, son of a bitch. Quit doing this. Someone needs to, someone that has Gaiman's approval, so either Morrison or Gaiman himself needs to just sit down and make it work. Because the thing is Gaiman jumped through so many hoops and did a bunch of backflips to make all the Sandman stuff line up and work. And so it's really disappointing if this one thing that from these two, titans of comic books can't line up together like that.
Well, they can if in our heads. Everything can fit in our heads.
So okay, what's your theory?
Well, that whole thing from Captain Atom. I mean, it's a larger concept. Why not? Why? It's so elegant.
I don't like that because Death is that doesn't work with everything else that's written with Death. She is Death in all the multiverse.
Fine. Look. So, Death the Black Racer is the death of the new gods. He's the guy that goes sees the gods. He's the death of the gods. And Death is like the death for everyone else.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Death is the ultimate death. Dude, Death exists outside of the multiverse, so she would bring Death to Superman Prime just as well as she would to Superman of Earth 1. Death, there's no alternate version of Death. She is Death for all of the multiverse, and that's what's so fascinating about her. The only thing I can think of is that Death is the concept of death, and the Black Racer is essentially the Grim Reaper. He's the one that touches you and makes you die.
Okay.
If you try to outrun Death, then the Black Racer is sent out after you. Which might be more interesting, or not more interesting, which might kind of reconcile them. But the problem is, it's just, it's obvious that neither of them is subservient to the other. And it's obvious that they're not the same character. Because the other thing is, you see Morpheus do it all the time in the Sandman book, where, someone else, there's that really cool scene where Martian Manhunter looks at him, and Morpheus just turns into like this giant talking head with like fire around him, and he's standing right next to Mr. Miracle, who just sees him as, you know, that pasty, skinny white dude. And so, like, you could say, oh, well, that's what Death is doing. Just some people see her like we see her, and then some people see her like the new gods just see her like the Black Racer. But no, she's not the same character then, because it's clearly not the same character.
I don't know.
Okay. Lots of stuff said. I don't know. I really want those two to work together, and I cannot think of an explanation which I'm super okay with right now. So I need either Morrison or Gaiman to get on that shit and make it
most
work.
definitely.
Like, I don't want Death to become like a and I don't want to talk too much about her, but I don't want Death to be like a character that just constantly pops up in the universe, because in my mind she is honestly like proper literature. Like, I consider most comic books I enjoy to be, you know, fun books on the same level as like good television. Like watching, you know, oh man, this issue of Batman was like a really good episode of Star Trek or whatever. But I consider Gaiman's stuff with Sandman and Death to be, you know, proper literature. So she's not a character that I want showing up too much, but I would like someone to reconcile those two things, because that's part of the fun of comic books is everything working together like that. And even though it contradicts at times, someone finding a way to make it all work and fit in one big canon.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, canon is whatever you make it. Some say like it's all exists in our world. So I guess it's all just bigger structures inside of smaller structures. You know, it's all just stuff. It all fits. It all fits.
Well, I guess let's kind of circle back to kind of where we started. Not fuck the universe where we started, but started with Jack Kirby. I remember just having such a hard time when I was reading through all the classic myth stuff. I was getting so annoyed as a modern comics fan, which is the fact that there is no goddamn continuity in Greek mythology. Just in this guy's version of the story, this is okay, and if this guy's version of the story, this isn't. Like, in Hesiod, who gives us the origin of the gods, where we get the whole story of Kronos and everything. The Muses call humans bellies, because that's all they are to the immortals, is you just have to eat to survive, so really you're nothing but a stomach. Like, that's how the immortals saw them, and the immortals don't eat, or if they do, it's just for the flavor. They don't do it because they need to. But then, if you look at the tale of Persephone, she eats a pomegranate. It's like this, you know, very important part of her, and she does it because she has to eat something. So it's like, okay, how the hell do those things work together? And the answer is they don't. They don't work together at all. They completely contradict each other, but that's okay because we don't care, apparently. I'm like, well, I care.
Yep.
So yeah, just one of those things where I'm like, God damn it, I want this to work together. I want it to fit. And I suppose that's just one of the things about comic books is it's not really meant to. Marvel has a slight advantage since it was always planned that it would be in the same universe, but even then, I mean, the X-Men always feel like they're off on their own.
I disagree. I disagree completely.
Really?
Yeah.
I always felt like the X-Men are in their own universe, because doesn't it feel like someone should be doing something about the genocide? Like, why isn't Captain America stopping genocide? It seems like that should be a pretty big priority for him. Or what's up with Spider-Man? Or what's up with the Fantastic Four? Why does everyone love the Fantastic Four but hate the X-Men? Just stuff like that. It's like,
because they're astronauts.
Yeah, I guess. It always seemed like Fantastic Four, or not Fantastic Four. It always seemed like X-Men were their own thing. No, but like with Jack Kirby stuff though, I wanna stick to that. So no, just maybe the whole mythology not quite lining up with everything else that we have in canon for DC is a good thing, because it is supposed to be its own kind of stuff. I'm trying to think of what else to say, because we need to round this out just a little bit more.
I don't know.
Go on, talk about something related to the... What is something else that you enjoyed from this book?
Forever People. Basically, my favorite, like, depiction of them, besides this, is they showed up in the Young Justice cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so awesome seeing, like, oh my god, that's this fucking super cycle! And it's fucking... Yeah. It's like somebody... It's so trippy. It's all purple zigzags and shit. And it's just, like, I think that is the perfect way of... Fuck. That's just a perfect way of introducing...
No, like, the Forever People were just, like I said earlier, just barely a step up above the Jimmy Olsen book for me. Sorry, just one sec. Still kind of getting over a cold, people. I'm sorry. That must not have been the best audio. The Forever People were just a step above Jimmy Olsen's book for me, just because it was okay. It wasn't quite as hard to get through as Jimmy Olsen's. I really wish Steve were here, because I would love to hear him talk about the Forever People, since they're kind of like the prototype for the Power Rangers. I don't know if anyone else noticed that while reading this stuff, but let me just explain it. So they grab Mother Box and they each surround her and they say these special words, and then they turn into the Infinity Man. And the Infinity Man is like super powerful and is able to stop the big monster, the big threat. And I'm like, so why didn't you just start?
No, actually, funny enough. No, actually, funny enough, they don't turn into the Infinity Man. They just take place. It's kind of like their place in space-time gets replaced with him. They go off somewhere else on the cosmic plane.
I'm going to, you were there when we did the Nostalgia Critic episode, and he brought up the whole thing about why don't you just lead with the giant robot? Why don't you just lead with the Infinity Man? Why don't you just always walk around as if you're the Infinity Man?
They're not the Infinity Man. They're not the Infinity Man. He's just a guy they bring in when shit gets real.
I'm just saying, why not just say, fuck the kids, just send the Infinity Man?
Well, fuck. Why the fuck does... Stop making things stupid. It's not... Shut up! It works! It works perfectly fine!
No, it really doesn't. It's one of those, it's the same plot hole in Power Rangers. Why don't you lead with the giant robot? It's like, oh, there's this monster threat. Is it alive? No, technically it's not. Alright, fine, fuck it. Giant robot, squish. Game over.
But you know what? What I really like is just... Yeah, I know some of those little things of the Forever People I really enjoy. Like when that one kid is talking to that cowboy one, and to that cowboy new gun, and he just takes out a little silver bullet from his hat and says, this is like something we keep around to stay in touch with the everything, with the source. And the kid just picks it up and he just sees this weird trippy thing like, I hear and see everything. The universe makes a beautiful music. It's just a single panel. But it's so fucking trippy and beautiful. It has this kind of weird...
Yeah, it's like Power Rangers and 70s drug culture, isn't it?
I know. It's that thing by itself should make you go buy this shit. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, Forever People was interesting. It just, I don't know, it's still there was too much people in it and not enough of the new God stuff, you know? That was the thing for me with this book overall. I have mixed feelings about it, because overall I think I enjoy it, but there's just way too much stuff with the humans.
Gabby and Scrapper and the Newsboy Legion.
The Newsboy Legion and the fucking humans that are hanging out with Orion. It's just Jesus Christ, this sucks.
I disagree. I kind of like the humans. They're all dressed so establishment-like. It's like, oh my god, you're people with jobs.
No, I really didn't like the stuff with the people.
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it.
That's the stuff that lost me.
Flip-a-dippa, bro.
Flip-a-dippa, yeah. None of the Newsboy Legion got annoying. Not at all. Not even in the slightest.
At least there's black people in this book.
Accents. What?
Yeah, it's funny because it's just these New York, it's just Jack Kirby being like, yeah, this is how we used to talk back in the day. Like, you fucking this and that and blah, 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 blah. You know,
so there's that scene with the Newsboy Legion where it's like, it just epitomized how annoying and stupid those fucking characters were when they're all trapped in the goddamn egg with Superman, and the Newsboy Legion's like, we're gonna help Superman punches the fucking egg with all his might, and it doesn't do shit, and the Newsboy Legion's like, come on, we'll help Superman, and they start punching the egg, like, you fuckers, shut up. You know that doesn't do anything. You're just doing that shit to be annoying at this point. Shut the fuck up.
You don't like kids, do you?
No, I like kids just fine. It's just those kids were fucking annoying. And those kids were like 90s movie sidekick kids annoying. Those kids were like the kids from Jurassic Park and Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, and fucking... I don't know, Home Alone all wrapped up into one. It was fucking aggravating.
I liked Home Alone and fucking Jurassic Park. It was a good...
Well, I like Jurassic Park too, but you gotta admit the kids are fucking annoying.
You like Jurassic Park 2?
No, I like Jurassic Park 2 as in TOO as in also.
Oh, okay. Don't you like Jurassic Park 2?
To varying degrees.
Yeah. Are you interested in Jurassic World?
At first, not at all. And then I saw the first trailer, I'm like, okay, maybe. And then I saw some of the other trailers, I'm like, I don't know anymore.
It's Star-Lord. Star-Lord with dinosaurs.
I didn't love Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
I didn't. It was just okay.
Okay. But, like...
It had too many of the, just like, I know what it was doing, that it was doing so intentionally, but it had too many tropes of things that just irk me, you know?
Like what?
Like Bill and I did that top 5 tropes video, or bottom 5 tropes video rather, and 2 of my, like, bottom 5 tropes are, it's a alien, and it's just a dude that's blue or whatever. Or it's worse, it's just a guy. I hate that. And that's all over Guardians. And I know they're doing it on purpose, but I don't care. And then there's, worldwide culture, and that shit annoys me as well, so,
Worldwide culture?
It happens in Star Trek all the time, and it drives me crazy there, too. But, they land on the planet, and it's just like, oh, here are these people. And that is obviously the case. Every single person on this planet is obviously just like these motherfuckers. Just that shit. It just irks me. It's just lazy writing, in my opinion, most of the time. Again, I get it in Guardians; they're doing it intentionally, but I still don't care.
All right.
Anyway, no, but with the shit, what were we talking about? Fuck. Jurassic World. No, at first I was like, maybe. And then it looks pretty cool. And then I was like, super dinosaur, maybe not. And then I was like, some of the images do look really awesome, though. Maybe. We'll see. See what happens.
It's a giant genetically engineered dinosaur monster. What else do you want?
I don't know. Something about it being not an actual dinosaur just doesn't make it feel like Jurassic.
Well, dude, I mean, it's not actual dinosaur. They just recently found out that dinosaurs were all covered in feathers and colorful and shit.
I don't care.
So it's technically Jurassic Park got it wrong.
I don't care. They're still dinosaurs. This is like a B-movie monster at this point. And I don't know. Maybe it'll be fine. But anyway, back to Jack and Fourth World. I don't know, the Forever people, they were hit and miss for me at best. It's just the way Jack Kirby writes the people in this book. I don't like it. It's way too forced. One, fucking hang up your goddamn phone. Anyway. I don't know, I think that's about the end of the episode, guys. I'll wait for Milan to get back. Rants.
Sup.
Okay, we're gonna do some rants real quick, because I wanted to start stealing rants from Cap, because fuck it, that's why. So Milan, what do you have to rant about?
Nothing at all. I'm perfectly happy with my life and this book and everything.
So you lie to yourself now? Is that what you do?
Well, that's just kind of a thing that I do.
All right, fine. Let's do a rating of the book while I think of a rant too, because we're gonna do rants. It'll be fun.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm gonna give Jack World's first Kirby Omnibus. Jack Kirby's Fourth World Omnibus. 2.5 Omega sanctions out of 5.
Fuck you. I wanted to use the Omega sanction. I give this particular volume 5 out of 5 sad Supermans reclining on a rock, thinking about regretting his decision not to go to Supertown.
Okay.
Fuck it. Why not?
Okay, a quick rant. So, shit, I got nothing. Milan, do a rant. Just find. You're a crazy person. You're supposed to be able to rant about stuff.
Well, I find that very offensive, like personally.
Wait, I got it. Okay. So, like, recently with the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, and, you know, good for her, I support her and everything, but, like, suddenly this has thrown transgender-related topics into the discussion of life, suddenly, and chief among those has become the issue of bathrooms, and I would just like to take this moment to advocate for gender-neutral bathrooms, not like having a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom and then a gender-neutral bathroom, just getting rid of sex-classified bathrooms altogether, just have gender-neutral bathrooms. And this isn't for anyone's special interests or protecting anyone at all, except for myself and my own selfish reasons. And the reason for that is that like 99% of all public male restrooms are fucking disgusting, and just women wouldn't tolerate that shit. So we would finally get, you know, clean bathrooms wherever we go. And probably a couch. That's my argument. That's why I think we should just do away with gender-divided bathrooms. There's such like a holdover from like, you know, the 50s and this goddamn, you know, Puritan culture shit. So fuck it, let's just get rid of that shit.
You know what we should have? We should have a friendly, elderly black man in a suit holding a warm towel in every bathroom in America.
No.
Aw.
No, we really shouldn't. Alright, do you have anything you would like to rant about?
Me and my little brother watched the first Rocky movie last night on Netflix. It was... Mm-hmm. It makes you feel alright about being poor.
And that's a bad thing?
I don't know. I guess so.
Okay.
Sylvester Stallone was so young. It's so odd watching those... Like, seeing old school fucking 1970s New York and young Sylvester Stallone, it's like seeing pictures of your parents when they were young. It's like when you see moving things from the past, it's kind of beautiful in a way.
Alright, well, I think that'll about do it. Everyone, thank you for listening. Oh shit, need a topic. Alright, I got one. A guy on Twitter, Jid something, hold on, sorry, I apologize, world. I just need to look at my fucking notifications and try to remember this dude's name. It's Jid and it's got numbers, and I can't remember numbers very well. Oh, where is it at? Okay, Jid 2012, alright. Jid 2012 suggested that we discuss Disney as a cultural enterprise. And that sounds fucking awesome, right?
Well, they do kind of rule...
Like, yeah, I mean, they're taking over the whole fucking world right now. So yeah, totally.
You just know they're just going to go, hey, Marvel. I mean, hey, DC. Warner Brothers. We'll treat you good. We'll treat you good.
Just let Mickey fuck you up the ass. That's all we're saying.
No. We'll treat you good. We'll give you the money. We'll give you a good place to live. But every time, like once a month, you have to come down to us, and you gotta suck our dick real good. We'll treat you good too. We'll pat your head and whisper sweet nothings in your ear. But like once a month, your ass is ours. Otherwise, you'll be the best treated whore on the planet, because we're Disney.
Oh boy!
You do the most demented Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Give me a fucked up thing for Mickey Mouse to say, and that's how we'll close out the episode, and then we'll do the sign off.
Sometimes I like to slaughter a goat.
Sometimes I like to slaughter a goat. Oh boy! Alright everyone, thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I am the Madman.
And fuck the universe up its stupid fucking ass. Unless it likes that, in which case skull fuck the universe. Unless it likes that, in which case the universe is fucked up and needs